Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, where today I am going to be reviewing the rides over at Legoland Windsor. So this is the third installment of my series where I rank the roller coasters. I have obviously done Alton Towers and I have also done Thorpe Park, and now I'm going to do Legoland Windsor. Obviously, as there aren't that many roller coasters at Legoland Windsor, I am also going to pop in a little section about rides that shouldn't be missed on your trip to Legoland Windsor. This is again all my own personal opinions, and anything listed is something I will always try and aim to do on my day out at Legoland. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Starting off with the ranking of the roller coasters at Legoland Windsor, kicking us off in third place is the new for 2020 Duplo Dino coaster. I loved this when I visited in July. I went with Coastersaurus, so that's Tina, Rob and Peter. Big shout out to them, and I hope they're all doing well and keeping safe. And this was a new +1 for us. None of us really thought we were going to get a +1 with the whole COVID situation, so it was really nice to go and experience something new. It's a perfect first coaster for younger thrill seekers. It's very simple, but it's also a lot of fun even for adults like me and Tina and Rob. We all managed to enjoy it, and it's a really fun little coaster. Obviously it's not too quick, it's not too slow, it's just a perfect starter for younger guests who are looking for something not as thrilling as the Dragon or the Dragon's Apprentice, as they are quite a step up, not a huge step up. It's not like you're going from the Duplo Dino coaster to Stealth, but it is for a younger guest a huge step up to go on the bigger coasters at the resort. And I just think it was well needed when they put in the Duplo Dino coaster. They've also given the Duplo Valley area of the park some well needed TLC, and it just has given that area a real new vibe. It's a very nice area to be in. It's very clean, very bright and colourful, and it's just perfect for Legoland's target audience. Coming in at number 2 is the Dragon's Apprentice, located in Knight's Kingdom. This is the perfect middle ground roller coaster for the park. So now with Duplo Dino, it sits very nicely in the kind of middle area of the park, where again it's a step up and one step closer to getting on the dragon, whether that be they're not quite tall enough or they want to build up the courage with something a little bit faster than the Duplo Dino coaster. Dragon's Apprentice is the perfect option for the park, and I love it. Even though it's not the most thrilling coaster I've done, I do enjoy it. It's a good fun little coaster. It's also really compact, so if you visited the park you'll know what I mean. It's kind of situated in the corner, and it's really small, like it doesn't take up much space. This year it's also been shut for quite a while with lots of refurbishment works going on, so I can't wait to see what has been going on when I next visit Legoland. I don't know when I'm next going back, obviously with all the COVID situation, or when we'll be safe to go back and visit, but I know there was a lot of structural work going on with the piece of theming that the coaster interacts with, which is my favourite part of the coaster layout. It will be interesting to see what it looks like now it's had that much needed TLC. And again, the trains are really cute with the little dragon on the front, and Legoland overall is a very photogenic park. It's a very beautiful park, so it's a nice place to take photos, especially with like the little piece of theming in the middle. it's very appealing to the eye, but that is why Dragon's Apprentice comes in at number 2. Obviously, by process of elimination, my favourite coaster over at the Legoland Windsor Resort is the Dragon. This is so much more than just a coaster to me. I love it. So I think one of the most unique things about it is it starts off with that beautiful dark ride section indoors inside the castle as you board the Dragon, and you go through the castle and you kind of see all the people who live inside the castle. So you've got like the king, you've got the jester, you've got the singers, you've got the kitchen, and then you've got the wizard doing his potions, and then you've got that huge Lego dragon coming out of the wall, and it's so impressive when you first see it. Even now it still kind of blows me away whenever I see it, because it's just a huge piece of theming, and the way it's presented inside the dark ride section is just insane. And then you go outside for the coaster layout. The first section of the coaster outdoors is really, really fun. It's quite quick, but the highlight for me is just as you come off the second lift hill. I love being on the front row of any coaster, as you guys now know if you've been watching the channel, but when you're near the back of the train and you get pulled over that second lift hill down into the through the tunnel, you get a little bit of airtime, and it's really quick. It's quite snappy for a family coaster, and again, it just fits in so well at the resort. I know it's a staple at any Legoland. I can see why it's brilliant for young guests, older guests. It's a perfect family coaster, and I really do think the resort would be lacking something if the Dragon were to ever go. I would like to see some more TLC to it, I guess, maybe repaint the track, but overall they look after it really, really well, considering they've also got to keep all the Lego bricks inside the dark ride section as well. They've never really looked like they've needed any TLC. They always look brand new and clean and fresh, and it's got a really cute little soundtrack. I just adore it, and that was also one of my first roller coasters when I was younger. I'd actually done a couple of the roller coasters at Chessington before I'd done the Dragon, and the Dragon still remains one of my favourites. I can't miss it whenever I visit the park. So that was my ranking of the Legoland Windsor roller coasters, and now on to my next section of the video, which is personally for me the rides I will never ever and miss out when I visit the resort. So first up we have Fairy Tale Brook. With me being such a huge fan of Disney, it's like a mini slice of Disney put into a Lego park, and it's just a beautiful little ride. It's not scary at all, it's just really cute, and it takes you through all the fairy tales, and you're sat in a little boat which is shaped like a leaf, and it's a very wholesome ride. Obviously with Legoland, the most impressive thing about the ride is, one, the theming. Like Aladdin's cave in there is absolutely crazy, but also the Lego models around the ride of all the different fairy tale characters is just, they're so interesting to look at, because you can kind of tell how much work has gone into putting these models together, and it's just incredible. My favourite model in the ride is, obviously, if you know me, my favourite princess is Snow White, so I love the little Snow White section on the boat ride, but I also love the things like Aladdin's cave, Hansel and Gretel's cottage. I just love the whole ride, and it's a little slice of Disney at home, which is perfect. Another ride I definitely won't miss is the Deep Sea Adventure. This used to be Atlantis Submarine Voyage, and it's the ride which is kind of linked with sea life a little bit, is you're in your own submarine and you've got sharks and different types of fish around you as you're travelling through. and it's recently been revamped and rethemed to the Deep Sea Adventure, and they did really well with it. It's got a nice new storyline. I think Atlantis still kind of plays a little bit of a part in the ride. I've only done it once, so I might be wrong and I may have missed out on a few details, but overall I think the new storyline for the ride is really, really cute. Another quick thing to mention about Fairy Tale Brook, backtracking a bit, is this year when I went in July, it looked like the ride had a lot of TLC. Some of the Lego figures that move hadn't been moving for a few years, and then when I went in July they were moving again, and it was so nice to see it have a little bit of a spruce up and some TLC. So it's kind of restored back to its former glory. Another ride I have completely fallen in love with pretty much from the year it opened is Ninjago. I think it's a fantastic interactive dark ride. It's very different, as instead of having the use of guns or lasers or stuff you hold, you literally just use your hand like that, which means it can get very tiring. But it's just a really unique ride and I really like it. I say unique. It's unique to me because I hadn't done anything like it in the UK at that point, and I still haven't really done anything like it elsewhere. Obviously I've done other trackless dark rides like Ratatouille at Disneyland Paris and the new Sesame Street Cookie Mission at Port Ventura, but neither of them are that interactive, and then the Sesame Street one is, but you have a gun to use. Again, I think the way Ninjago is presented is just beautiful. It has a lot of use of screens, but the use of those screens is done so well, it doesn't really give me a headache or anything. And I just love going to Legoland and spending some time on Ninjago. Leading on from one interactive dark ride to another ride I love to do but always gets a really long queue is Laser Raiders. This is a very old school interactive shooting ride with, they look like hair dryers, let's be honest, and it's obviously not as visually impressive as other interactive shooting dark rides I've done, like Ninjago mentioned before, but I still think it's lovely. As with Laser Raiders, it doesn't have any screens involved in the ride. It's all physical set pieces and Lego models, which I think is lovely, and I really, really enjoy it. It's a little bit of light-hearted fun, or for me, when you're with your friends, a very competitive bit of fun. But again, it's just something I would never miss out on whenever I visit the resort. So the next couple of rides I'm going to mention is definitely ones I prefer to do in the summer, but I have been known to do them in the middle of October as well because I love them that much. And I am of course talking about the water rides. So first up we have Pirate Falls Dynamite Splash, I think it's called now, but I've always just called it Pirate Falls, which is the log flume at the resort. I love a log flume. They're great fun for all the family, but oh my god, Pirate Falls is something else. Obviously, for those of you who have been on it, you know you've just got the one drop, and I'm really sorry if I've put any spoilers in at all during this video to anyone who hasn't visited, but you have a one drop special, but that isn't even the bit that remotely gets you wet. It's the effects around the ride. You've got rats with water guns, and oh my god, I remember the first time I went on it, I knew I was going to get wet because it's a log flume, but I was not expecting to get absolutely soaked. But that being said, I can't resist going back and re-riding when I'm at the resort. The other water ride I wanted to quickly mention was Vikings River Splash, which is their rapids ride. This has had a few changes since I first went on it. I remember the whole fun of it used to be the element of kind of suspense. You would get a bucket of water dropped on you as when it first opened. they had a huge bucket of water that fills up, and then every so often it would just tip and completely soak one of the boats underneath it. And it used to go at any random point. You couldn't even time when it was going to go. It was just pure chance whether you got the bucket or didn't get the bucket. And in my lifetime of going to Legoland Windsor, I only got the bucket once. And thank God, because it was cold and I drowned pretty much. It was so wet. Again, all the effects on the rapids get you wet. I haven't really seen many of the effects on over the past couple of years, so I'd love to see them return. But I just think it's a really fun little rapids ride. Also, a quick special mention to Boating School. It's a water ride, but you don't really get wet on it. But I just find that a very authentic version of the driving school, as instead of being in a car, you get to drive your own boat around the lake. And I really enjoy it. Even now, I love going on it. It's just a bit of fun. It's actually quite relaxing, and it's good fun to do with family or friends. Next up, we have one of my favourite rides at the resort. It's the Haunted House Monster Party. I absolutely adore this. I haven't done many Vekoma Madhouses, so I've done obviously Hex at Alton Towers, and I've done the Haunting at Drayton Manor, and my favourite has to be Haunted House Monster Party. Sorry Hex, I love Hex to pieces, but I just love the fact that the Haunted House Monster Party is just basically a huge rave and a party as soon as you go on. It's got the most catchy theme tune from I'm a Score I've ever heard. I absolutely adore the soundtrack, and it's just so wholesome. Like, it's just a really, really fun ride. It's quite jolty on the swings sometimes, but I think that might be just because it's new. But again, I love the use of lighting and the pre-show before you get on the swing. It's just incredible. And I've been known, especially during their Christmas event, if I go, to sit on the Haunted House Monster Party for the majority of the day. I have no shame and no regrets because I just love it, especially when some of the bigger rides aren't open. I know last year when I went, the Dragon wasn't open, so it gave me an even better excuse to just sit on the Haunted House Monster Party all day, most of the day. I think we ended up doing it about 4 or 5 times in the day, just because I loved it that much, and so did my friends I was with. So, like, my Sean, big shout out to Sean, I really miss you. And we're going to move in and we're going to live in the haunted house with Lord Vampire and all his friends, because let's just face it, they would make any year a better year, especially after the year we've had. Following on from that, another ride I absolutely love, I didn't used to really enjoy it, but I've grown to like it now, is Mia's Riding Adventure, which is the disco situated in Heart Lake City, which is all based around the Lego Friends. This was quite a big investment for the park. It was that ride again that they put in that was good for the family, but it was also a little bit more thrilling, so a little bit of a step up for some of the kids who wanted a bit more of an adventurous ride to go on. Obviously, I still prefer the likes of Cobra at Chesington and the Edge at Portons Park, but Mia has grown on me. It's running a lot better than it used to. Sometimes I used to find it was quite slow at hitting the high points and quite slow to get going with the spinning, but now it's good. It's really fun, and I like the way it's themed to horses, so instead of just like a boring generic seat, they're actually themed to something. And staying in the Heart Lake City area, another ride I really wanted to mention was the Legoland Express, but it's been known as the Heart Lake City Express, and way back when I was younger it used to be called the Orient Expedition, which is of course the little train ride that goes through Kingdom of the Pharaohs, Lego City, Heart Lake City, that kind of area of the park. And it's really fun. I remember when I was younger and it used to run as Orient Expedition, it was really special because there was that added thing of a lot of water effects, and you used to come off it quite wet. Like the bridge, there used to be things that squirted you, and then random Lego models around the ride used to suddenly squirt water at you and take you a bit by surprise. But in later years and more recently, I haven't really noticed any of the water effects. So maybe they've gone, maybe they're just not running them, but I think it would be quite nice to see a return of the water effects. But aside from that, it's a lovely relaxing ride, again perfect for all the family, one for everyone to enjoy. How could I talk about Legoland without bringing up the beautiful and very, very impressive Miniland? This is a must for anyone who visits Legoland, in my opinion. It's what Legoland is there for, is it showcases some of the most incredible Lego models and structures you will ever see. A lot of them are moving and working as well, so it's quite interactive. Not that you can touch them or anything, it's just interactive to see things move around, and it gives like a real look into a mini working version of the world you live in. Like for me, I live in London, so when the London Eye model they have is moving, or the cars and the boats and the buses are moving around, it's really, really cute. And again, fantastic photo opportunities for anyone who goes. It's a really pretty area, and you can spend a lot of time there, as Miniland is a lot bigger than you expect. You could probably spend a good hour or two walking around. So sometimes I think it may be better to have 2 days at the resort so you can really focus and get the most out of Miniland, as well as enjoy all the rides. Along with Miniland, I have to talk about one of my favourite theme park shows, and that is Pirates of Skeleton Bay. I love this. I don't even think there's been a time where I've gone during their main season from March to October where I haven't seen a showing of Pirates of Skeleton Bay. I absolutely adore that show. It's so light-hearted, really fun, a real sense of adventure in it as well, when obviously they do all their flips and somersaults off of the lighthouse in the centre. It's really visually impressive and so much fun, and it's very interactive. They get you all cheering along, they teach you, well, I remember being taught the dance to the beginning of the show, and it's just stuck with me, so now it's something I always remember when I go. I remember when that also used to be Johnny Thunder instead of just Pirates of Skeleton Bay, and then obviously it had this huge overhaul and Johnny Thunder went and the pirates came in, but I still adore the show. I wouldn't change it for the world, and it's a really nice show to watch with your family, especially since our UK parks are quite slow. Well, not even slow, they're just lacking entertainment and live shows, so it's nice to see one when you're at a UK park, and Legoland do it perfectly. So the last little thing I wanted to talk about was the new land coming in 2021. Obviously it's a bit early for me to say that this is something that shouldn't be missed, but I think when I visit in 2021, it's going to be up there on my priority list to go and explore the new land, which is known as Mythica, and also try out the new flying theatre that they're going to be opening. I'm excited. It's nice to see some investment coming into the park again. Obviously they've had the Duplo Dino coaster this year, and it's just nice, despite all the circumstances of 2020, to see a new land and the UK's first flying theatre, I think, coming to Legoland. So it's going to be really exciting, and I really do hope 2021 is a better year for them with their opening of the new ride. So that is the end of my Legoland video. I'm really sorry if I have rambled on it all, or it's not been as interesting as some other videos, but I love Legoland and I wanted to feature it on the channel and do a little video as part of the series, as I think it's not underrated, but it's also not talked about as much as it should be. It's a really nice park for families and younger guests, but also adults can go and have a really fun time there too. Please do comment down below and let me know what your favourite ride is at Legoland Windsor. I would love to know. And also please do like the video if you have enjoyed this. If you're new, hi, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you haven't yet already, please do hit that subscribe button, as I have a lot more regular content coming up on the channel soon. Not just sit down chatty videos, but also a variety of different things coming up that I'm really excited for and I can't wait to share with you on the channel. So for now, I have been Lou and I will see you all in the next video.